Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. I've got a dark room today because it's late and Jimmy is nocturnal, and I think when I stream it late hours with the big bright light on, I think that just kind of throws off her sleep schedule. So if I'm streaming past 8, I think I might just leave the light off for her because she's been hiding more and more with the light on during the night. So I think I want to just kind of go easier on her for the light when it comes to late hours. So yesterday we've got this meditate option, which right now we can save our game with K and load with L. So like you can see we kind of like teleport back to load our game. And if we walk up to one of these idols and choose not to meditate, then when we load, we come back to our previous load. But if we click meditate, then when we load, we go back to the meditation spot. So there is one other thing I wanted to do with this, which is we need to be able to change to a little sprite of Tashio meditating on the floor here. So like I kind of want it so that you can, like when you start the game, if the last save you had was at a meditation idol, then you start the game like meditating until you walk, and then he'll kind of wake up. But I think it's kind of cool to start the game and kind of, you can just like leave it and see him sitting peacefully until you start playing the game. So that's what I want to add today, is a little meditation sprite for Tashio here. So we'll see. And then what's really cool too, I'm talking to the artist Salto Manga, who did the Sekiro art back here for me. I'm commissioning some custom Tashio art for the Steam release, and he sent me the sketches today and they look so sick. So I'm not sure when he's gonna deliver the real deal, but it is in the works and it is looking awesome. So I can't wait to share that with everyone once that's all ready. So let's get a new Tashio sprite here. It doesn't need to be, I don't think it needs to be animated. I think it's just going to be a still of Tashio there. Now we can kind of use, we have a death animation, right, for Tashio, and he's kind of sitting down, so we can use that as like a starting point and then just make him not dead for this. But oh man, the art is looking so sick that Salto Manga is doing for us. It is looking so cool. There we go. So we can get his head. I'm kind of worried, or like I don't know what his closed eyes are gonna look like if we do this, because you know, if this is it where he's kind of sitting down like this, we need his eyes closed like he's meditating. Yeah, that's not quite it. I think that's like he just ate a lemon or something. But no eyes is even weirder, so we might, you know, something like that. You know, I want it to look, let's see. You know, I want it to read like he's crisscross meditating. So maybe, let's see, because the dot's too much. So we've got to do the horizontal. I think we've got to do the horizontal eyes here. Yeah, I don't know. The placement, you know, there's very limited options for where we place his eyeballs. Maybe we could tilt his head down just a bit. Yeah. This isn't quite it, but I think what's thrown me off is his hands need to be more active. Because this is, you know, we pulled this from the death sprite, so I think if we have his hands maybe more outwards, like they're kind of sitting on his knees, then maybe... I know, dude. That's what it looks like. He looks like he's toasted, man. Yeah. It's just so hard to be expressive when you have like 16 pixels to work with, you know? Yeah, he doesn't look quite peaceful, you know? He should look like he's a cute little guy. Just chilling before he's got to fight some monsters. Maybe there's like a, you know, like when people do like an Om chant or something, or when we make fun of that, whatever that thing is with the, what is that called when you do the like peace sign upwards? I don't even know. This isn't quite it. I kind of like the idea of his hands in his lap too, so like we don't even see it, but his... Let's see if we can get that going. Yeah, it's gonna be... I don't know if his shoulders will kind of read, but... There's no room for any detail, you know? He looks like an armless worm. Oh, this is kind of cute. Oh, this is looking kind of cute. Like, it's kind of like his little hands are held together. He still looks kind of like a little worm. But he does, it does like mostly read as meditation. Yeah, maybe one more, maybe instead of his feet coming up so much. Gosh, and then the shape of his feet are all weird. Is it weird that he's like barefoot the whole game? Or the color of his shoes are just feet colored? I don't know. I like the diagonal feet. It just reads better, I think. Yeah, he's Hobbit adjacent. He shaves his feet because he's got, you know, a certain kind of feeling about that, but it's okay. Everyone's different. Let's see. We see him tiny. Yeah, I mean, it does read as he's sitting down with his hands in his lap, I think. I wonder, I don't know, something about his eyes I'm just not quite sold on. Perfect. We got it. Solve that one. Jesus. There's just no pixels to work with. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many combinations we can try. Maybe it's that it's so black. Like maybe if we have oh, that kind of looks weird. He's got this kind of cheek color we can put in. Does that looks weird, huh? Yeah. That's not it. Maybe just Cyclops him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sold on this. It's close. Yeah, I can't tell. Should his arms be one more in? No. Tilting his head down. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, like more hair and less face, and maybe it'll look a little better. We could really kind of show off his bun if he's tilting his head down. That does look a bit better. Yeah, I think I need to round out the top of his head a bit more. Gosh, the balance is so tough. That does look better. I mean, I still got to shape his hair a bit, but I think that's the move. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, there's something I don't like about the top over here. But if I put all black pixels, it doesn't look quite right. Okay, it's close. It's close. Yeah, I just need to get his little bun looking good. Because, like, there, it's just a little bit of a knob at the top. But when his head's tilted down, it should stick out more. And I just can't get the... What is the shape for it? Does that read as he's meditating? It's close. I think there's like a couple... Yo, Practical, what's up, dude? How's it going, dude? Yeah, this is some Sonic Pi right here that's running live. I'm experimenting with a new software called Tidal Cycles for programming music on the stream. I haven't quite got it working on my Windows machine here, but I'm hoping to try that out soon. Yeah. So we're on the way to the demo here. We just got saving and loading implemented like yesterday. And part of the saving process is you walk up to a little idol and you meditate. So this is his sat down and meditate sprite that we're going to be adding in here. I think this is okay for now. I think there's like, I can't tell what I want to change about it. There's like 1 or 2 pixels over here I think we could smooth out, but we can move on with this. So this will be called Tashio Meditate. And then we basically, our animation state for the player has a bunch of different frames, but since this doesn't need to animate, it doesn't need to be an animation class. So we might be able to get away with just changing what we draw if our player is meditating. So whenever we choose yes to meditate here, whenever we choose yes, we need to draw our player meditating instead of our current animation stuff. So maybe during our player class, when we're in our render, oh man. Yeah, so our player inherits the entity class. So any specific hack we want to do to the player, we would have to add it to the entity class, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So maybe we have a new state for our player, and if the player's in that state, we can just render the meditate. Couple frames of him sitting down. Squinch, we'll see what it looks like, because half of me, like, if you load the game, he'll be meditating, so we won't need him standing up or anything. I'm just worried it'll look weird because you'll move right away, and if he's standing up while you're moving, I think it might just look a little weird. But we'll see if it looks smooth or if it is totally jarring to just abruptly change from a walk from a meditate. I don't exactly know, so we'll see. Yeah, I think we want a new class for our player. So we'll have a player meditate state. don't know if we'll need an update function for it, but we'll have it just in case. Okay, so let's import this so our game knows that this state exists. We'll do it with our other player stuff. Player meditate state. Okay, and then we also have to give this state to the player when we instantiate it. So, or when we, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we have to make sure our player's state machine knows. Gecko, bat. We might define this in the play state then. Yeah, we do right here. It's when we need to give a player meditate state for our player's state machine, and we'll return the player meditate state. And then it takes in a global player, so we can just say we can add that. In our init here. For right now, let's just put, all we'll do for the player meditate state is just draw some text real quick, just to say, we'll place it at our players X and Y. Okay. So we shouldn't crash or anything. So all we have to do is when we hit yes on a meditate, we have to change our player's state to meditate, and then once we move, it will become the walk state or whatever. So I think that'll work. Let's try to go to where we save our game. Okay, so this isn't quite it. We're looking for G-Gnarl. I don't know what that is. Is that for music? Yeah, Sonic Pi is the one you're listening to now, and then Tidal Cycles is the one I'm switching over to, and it's based in Haskell, so it's a totally different. This is based in Ruby, and Tidal Cycles is based in Haskell, so it's a little different. But Tidal Cycles is more pattern based, whereas Sonic Pi is more. I don't know how I would describe the difference. But basically it's a lot more verbose in in Sonic Pi than it is in Tidal Cycles. So I'm interested to keep messing around with that. We're looking for when we save our game. Let's do save player data. Right here, meditate, yes. Okay, so here's the spot. Nice, man. Yeah, you should definitely look into it. I've got there's here, I'll show you. I'll send you a link here for the video that convinced me to try title cycles, but I'll send you a link to my Sonic Pi repo if you want to mess around with any of the songs I've built too. But let me get this link for you because this thing is really cool. Yeah, this guy Dan Grelick. This guy's a legend. Here, I'll send you this. So yeah, so this is the software I'm planning to switch to. But I'll also send you the repo for the music you're currently listening to if you want to try that. Right here. So yeah, it's called Sonic Pi, sonic-pi.net. And it works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you can work on whatever. But yeah, I would say check that out. Check out that Dan Grelick video and you'll see what I'm talking about with title cycles because it's really cool. And he also uses practical. I think you'd like this too. He uses a video synthesizer. So he programs a video synthesizer to go along with his music, and that's called Hydra. So hydra.ojak.xyz, I think. And you can use a webcam and then program the video feed to look different, and it's super cool. So I want to show you one other thing too. Where is it? A couple nights ago, I was messing around with Hydra. I couldn't quite get it because my setup is all weird, with OBS and stuff. And let me look. Crap, it's Twitch keeps changing stuff. I feel like with the video producer stuff. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Oh shit. Okay, here. So this is me using Hydra the other night. So I use Hydra the other night. And so this is Sonic Pi running in my terminal. And then all the colors and stuff were responsive to the music that was coming out. So my audio was all jacked up. But you could see like the red channel is kind of like bumping, and it would bump with all the bass hits. So you can program it to do whatever you want to do. So it's that video synthesizer programming to do the visuals while he was programming the music. So it was like super cool. So like I want to incorporate more stuff like that into my streams. It's just, you know, there's a learning curve to it, obviously, but it's really cool. So yeah, I would say check that out. That's called Hydra. And it runs in the web. You can also, if you're, I mean, I know you're tech savvy, you can run the, you can download the Git repo and run it on locally too. So you don't have to do it online, but check out that Hydra OJAK if you're interested in the video synthesizer stuff. Okay, I think it's called Player Meditate is the name of the state we're trying to switch to. So we're going to run the state machine change method with the key of player meditate and try to change our player's state machine, which should not render our player anymore, but say meditate. So let's see. No. Drawable expected. Okay, we did. Well, that's good news because that means we swapped over to it, but we're trying to print, not draw. Yes, dude, I'm excited. Yeah, check it out, dude. it's nuts because I think it's so amazing and cool, but there's like hardly any love for it online. Like the dude who programmed tidal cycles, which I think is the coolest software I've seen in years and years, like maybe ever. That dude's tutorials have like 1,000 views. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. So yeah, so I'm sure you're gonna find it interesting too, and be able to do something cool with it. You know, the toughest part for me is trying to get it integrated into the stream, because you can do like a window capture in OBS and kind of pull the browser over in as a feed, but the quality isn't great when you do it that way. So I don't know how Dan Grelick does it, because it looks like crystal clear on his. So I'm not exactly sure how to pull it off great, but you know, with time and experimentation, I'm sure it can come out. Yo, Loki, what's up? Good evening. Look, our meditate option just worked, except we need to listen for an input and change back to our player walk state once we are here. So I think is it just player walk state? You know, we do a bunch of weird stuff here with when we're coming out of a walk state. Well, I guess the walk state itself listens for the output list and just changes the direction. So I think all we have to do is change to a player walk state when we're in the meditate state, and then it might work. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's, let's see in our play state where we declare, I think it's just called player walk state. Player walk. Okay, so we changed to player walk, so we'll listen for an input in our meditate state. And I think we can do something. It's tough because if we just ask our output list, if our keyboard is held down from pressing A on a meditate yes, then it'll still register as a value in the output list. So we want to listen for a new key press event. So we'll have to ask if our keyboard was pressed since we changed here. And let's just do WASD, right? So if W was pressed, or A, and before I overwrite my Vim buffer, I'll paste them. Okay, so WASD. If any of those buttons are pressed, then we need to change into our walk state and stop rendering our meditation sprite. So we'll just make sure we've got the ORs here. Okay, and then if anything is pressed, then we want to go into our player's state machine and run the change function to player walk. Okay, so let's see. Okay, meditate, yes, meditate, and then we can walk out of it. Cool. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so now instead of rendering meditate, we need to change our player's sprite. So we don't technically have to change the player's sprite. We just have to render the right sprite at the right location, right? Because our player's animation's based off the animation table, but the meditate isn't really an animation, it's just one sprite. So I think we could kind of get away with just importing it and drawing it here. We could do that. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad to just import it here. I guess it depends. If we want to go with Squinge's idea of rendering this actually sitting down and standing up, then maybe we'll do it the other way. But for right now, we'll say love.graphics new image, and we'll give it a path to our graphics folder here, which I'm not remembering the name of. It's just graphics. Okay, it's just graphics. So it should be graphics / Tashio meditate.png. Okay, that is our self image. So if we are in our meditate state, we just want to render. We don't want to print, we want to draw a self.image at our global players X and Y. Let's see if we've got meditate working, y'all. Let's see. We walk up to an idol. We meditate. Oh, look at, he's cute. It's cute. Yes. It's great. I love it. You know, I don't know if Squinge, if you're around, if you want to peep how it looks when he walks out of it. He kind of just goes right into it. It looks pretty natural to me. Oh, that is really cute. Oh, and we can still meditate when we're meditating. Okay, so let's see if we load a game, are we meditating? No, we're not. So if we load meditate, we've got to also turn into a meditate state. So, and that's for our player. So we'll go, yeah, if we load, let's find where we load. Yeah, when we load the player data, we don't change to a play state. Or actually, yeah, we change, load player data. This is just, okay, so this is in the title screen. We load it and change to play state. That's right, but our player, which we should have access to here, we should change to meditate state. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. That's, I think it works. But that was a good idea. I think it's not necessary, but I guess it could be, maybe we do a little animation. I'm kind of torn. I don't know if we should add saving to the village in the inns, like I was kind of initially thinking, or have it just be these idols and the idols are also in town. Because I'm kind of thinking we could do a little animation if he crawls into bed or something, or like a sleeping animation or something, or if we just get rid of beds altogether and just have the idols. I don't know. Okay, so if we load our game, we're gonna change to player meditate state. Is that right? Yeah, player meditate. Okay. But we also need, if we load a game, right now we have loading a game by pressing L, so at least for this purposes, we want to also change the state machine to player meditate if we load our game as well. Let's see. So we're gonna meditate, we're good. Now we load our game. Oops. Self.player. We need our global player here. That's a good idea, Squinch. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing, I like that beds could heal hearts. There is also what I want for idols. Idols will regenerate your elements too. So like your elements lose vibrancy over time as you cast spells with them. And I want idols to kind of refresh their vibrancy too. And then beds could probably do the same thing. Like beds are like everything heals up, but maybe idols. Well, I don't know. I feel like idols should heal hearts because I'm thinking about when you're. Well, I don't know. It could make sense. It could make sense because I don't know, because beds would be either in the towns or in like a little shack on the in between towns or something. I don't think that's often enough for the player for that to be the only heal option though. I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep thinking about that. Okay, yeah, we just have our global player initialized in the play state. Okay. Okay, let's try the load. Yo, sounds good, Squinch. Have a good meeting. Meditate. That is very cute. I like it. And then we're gonna load and we're meditating. Okay, because like the player isn't gonna be able to just load whenever they want like that, but it's for us to test. Like, hey, if we're on this screen and we load, we wake up, we start our game meditating, and then you can get up and everything like that. So that's looking good. Let's test it from a continue, right? So like, let's say we just meditated here, and then we go and explore, and we explore a little too far, and we fall in a chasm, and then we die in a chasm. And we've got the game over screen, and we're going to go continue, and it should load our last save. And from here, it didn't take us to meditate. So we need to make sure we have that from our chasm falling state to once we do this option selector to load our game. We need to not only change our state machine, but change our player's state machine to a player meditate. Cool. So that should work. So let's see if we load. It's got the same load from last time, which is right here. And then also, if we talk to the oh, that was not right. Oh shit. What happened there? I tried to talk to the idol from above and it screwed up. So if we meditate, no, but then we talk here. No. Okay, I don't know why that bugged out. Okay, so if we meditate up there, then when we load, it's up there. So I like that it remembers exactly where you were when you saved. So if you're above it, it'll load you above it. Let's do below it, and we'll just see. We meditate, then we're gonna go die in a chasm and continue a game from our last save here. Shit. We need to fix this. This is, if we get killed by a bat before the last frame of our falling animation plays, then we technically don't die from a chasm. And then if we don't die from a chasm, it's screwed up. Gosh, I don't even know what to touch to fix this, because it only happens, you know, like if we try to do the same thing but just get hit by bats and don't mess with the chasms, it's fine. It's just that when the chasm fall animation gets interrupted by damage from a bat, then we have issues. Because if we're over here and we just get hit by a bat, it'll play the proper animation for us dying, right? So we spin out, we get spat on, and it's a game over. We need to add a continue and quit from this game over state also, but also fix that bug where it's interrupting. A bat death is interrupting a chasm fall death, which shouldn't be possible. So we'll have to add something to our spitballs that say, hey, if we're chasm falling, don't do detection. Don't do detection. So let's see. Okay, we're gonna continue, and we're sleeping. We're meditating. That's great. One thing, I think I want the select button. I think I want the P button to also trigger the continue as well as enter. So we've got enter. I want to do also P. Okay, and then we need to add, so for right now, we've got these idols at different locations, but we don't actually, like when we go to talk to them, it doesn't always work. And that's because we don't give, in order for our idols to work, when we go to declare them, we have to say, like, where do we say idol here? Right here. We have to pass in this fourth parameter of a type idle into a dialog box object that's at the location of our idle that we placed in tiled. So I do want to try to automate this somehow, because as we're, you know, ideally all we have to do is draw an idle in tiled, and then when that exports, we can register, like for example, if the idle is like tile ID 50, it would say, okay, we're at a 50, so we know it's an idle, so we're going to insert it into the current map at the current row at the current column, but we're also going to insert a dialog box into the table. I guess it depends on the order of operations. If our data downloader is running after we've instantiated the empty tables for the global scenes, then we might be able to get away with that. Let's see if something like that is the case. Yo, absolutely practical. I mean, it's not, you know, feel free to also not credit me, because if you're doing it, it's all you, you know? So definitely, like, you can say like you found it on my stream or something if you want, but yeah, you don't have to credit me. It's just software that's out there, you know? But yeah, dude, I'm glad you like it. Like, I like it a lot too. I've done all 500 episodes of my stream have been with Sonic Pi here. So I'm gonna switch over to title cycles when I get it working better, but it's like half working right now. Like we've got, so like Super Collider is the sound synthesizer that Sonic Pi uses. So like when you start and stop Sonic Pi, it'll say Super Collider running or not. And then you've got to, this is for title cycles, but you, like, what sucks is I was trying to mess around with it over here, trying to learn it and stuff, but I don't know if it, oh, it does work. So So this is title cycles, but what I don't like about it is that I have to use this Pulsar text editor instead of NeoVim on Windows because of Windows subsystem for Linux. I can do it in my terminal on Mac because it's all on the same operating system, but let me see here. I'm not confident enough in title cycles yet to actually stream with it, but the code, it looks a lot more codey than Sonic Pi does. So Sonic Pi is definitely the easier starting point, but also just check out title cycles just to see, because I didn't know about it until recently, and I've been in the programming music forum for a while now, and I didn't know about it, so I'd say check that out too. Yeah, I forget what the website is. Titlecycles.org. Yeah. That one's super cool too. But yeah, dude, definitely play around. Definitely play around, and I hope it goes well. I'll definitely tune in and check it out. Yeah, good luck with that, man. It's what I'm really into right now, so I'm glad you like it too. Let's see our data downloader. Okay, our data downloader is in our map declarations file, and it is before we declare all of our empty... Wait a second. Okay. Yeah, so at the very top of our map declarations, we do give ourselves all of these global tiles for tables. So I think we will be able to do something like how we're inserting the tile ID into every map, but also we're doing something like here where we're saying, well, this is going into a different table. So I guess we can do something. Yeah, I think we can do this. Because see, we're inserting our animation into the .animatables table if it's equal to the enum of whatever tile ID. So this is the same idea we want to do, where we can say, oh, and we kind of do it after. So how we're doing it with the animations is we cycle through all the maps after we've assigned all the tile IDs, and then we check the tile IDs. Then we insert the animatables. So we can do something like this too, where we would say, if the map at IJK, that's crazy. If the map at IJK is equal to whatever idle tile ID or whatever, we can just have it like idle like that. Then we would table.insert into our map. Now, what we do when we do an idle, it's into a dialog box. A dialog box table. Okay, so we can say this, and we can say where were we just at idle? Really? Map declarations, idle, and right here. Okay, so yes, we want a table.insert into our correct scene, and we'll go into the dialog box table and we'll insert an actual dialog box. Now we calculate this row and column based on, yeah, this this math here is to reset the row and column, so we should be able to insert similarly into the anim row and anim column, but give it different arguments. One is a string for what the idle text box says, and the other is the type to give us the selection to either meditate or not. So this might work. We just have to figure out which tile ID our idle actually is in our master sheet. So we is this right? Dialog box, yeah. I think that can work, but we have to go into here. We have to set the enum for our idle object. So right here, we've got this stuff. We're going to say idle is equal to whatever tile ID we actually exported it to. So I think we have a numbered tiles numbered here. So this tells us which number the tiles are for the tile ID. So we just have to find where we put our idle in our master sheet, and we should be able to just dynamically insert this. Okay, so right here, it's just to the right of our tree. So let's just see what tile ID that is. That's a 131 right here. Okay, so 131 is the enum for that. So idle's 131. And then in our data downloader, once we've given all of the tile IDs to the right table, we're cycling through all the tile IDs in each scene and checking if it's an idle. You know, this is like a little bit overkill, right? Because ideally we just insert it once we find that idle is being inserted, and we just insert it there. But, you know, I mean, I guess that would be in the above ground tiles. So not in the top level tiles, but the above ground level tiles. Okay, so this is, yeah, we insert it here. We're cycling through all the rows and maps. Okay. I think my brain was hurting when I was doing this, so I just did the lazy way of cycling through after the fact and just checking here. So if we want to get fancy with it, we can see. Let's see if it works though. So as long as we put in an idle, we should be put in a dialog box with an idle option. So we should have touchable idles on every panel that has an idle now. Let's see. Can we meditate? No. So that's not quite working. So maybe this is not in the top level tile ID. Well, yeah, we don't. There is, you know, we render multiple. We have different layers, right? We have 3 different layers. So when we're asking what the tile ID is at a map, we have 3 different levels of map. So I think it might be because this is at, you know, we have to ask if the top level tile ID it's not top level tile, it's the above ground tile ID, because we have 3 layers of tiles we're exporting here. You know, ground level, above ground, and that's where the idles are, and then top level. So when we do an animatable, oh, well, I guess the animatables are in the above ground layer too. No, they're in the ground tiles. Oh, we haven't done that yet. We wanted to make transparent flowers so that we can just have one tile sheet for the flowers and have it go over the autumn grass here as well as the green grass. But we actually have two separate animatables for it because we're drawing it on the ground level. So something's not quite working in the... I think we have to check the top level tile ID, or what is it? Pits, chasm. Okay, I think... Okay, this is tough because the tile IDs are just a table of 80 values, and those 80 represent the 10 across in 8 rows of 10 columns. So if we want to know which tile to insert a dialog box for the idle, we have to cycle through our above ground level tiles and then assign this anim row based on whichever one we're cycling through. So it can't quite work. Well, no, I mean, it should work here. This is the math for it, where we subtract 1 for the indexing, divide by 10 for the rows, add 1. So yeah, this third index of our 3-dimensional array is the tile ID. But, well, we do have 3 tables for tile IDs, so... Because, yeah, see here, we're inserting it into the above ground tile IDs. So I think we have to do this to the dot above ground tile IDs at index K. Then we insert it. And I think that might get us where we're going. So let's see. We're going to try this one. Nope. Nope. Okay. So not quite. Doesn't quite work. Are we updating every dialog box for the idle? Let's do a search for idle. If we insert it. Okay, then when we update it. Okay. This isn't quite it. Above ground tile IDs. I would think that this would be it. Overworld map. IJ is the overworld map. Yeah, that's the scene. And then in the scene, we're going to the above ground tile IDs, checking for idle. So the only thing, if we messed up the enum and got the wrong number, this won't work. We could just try to say, let's just insert a dialog box on every object and just see, and that's not working either. So something is very wrong, because now we're saying we're inserting into the dialog box table the dialog object, which we have collision with. So that isn't working either. So that's not very reassuring. Because if we look at where we insert the idle and it's working, we're doing the exact same thing, where we insert into our scene, into the dialog box table, a dialog box object with these 4 parameters, and that works. So when we do that, it works, but that's hard-coded in. Okay, so actually, we don't need the 3-dimensional array because it's just, there's one dialog box table for everything. So I think when we go to do the idle insertion, we just have to, let's comment this out. Let's try to find, yeah, oh yeah, we are just doing this. Are we flushing dialog box to be empty somewhere? Because it's just not updating anywhere. We do dialog box at least for 7.2. Okay, so for 7, any spot with the, well, no, that's specific to the entity. That's not specific to our global dialog box table. And then we do flush it here when we make it. We give ourselves an empty table, so that shouldn't matter. Okay, well, I don't know why this isn't working, because right here we should be inserting it into our dialog box table. That's not what I want. What just happened? Yo, what just happened? Let's try that. Dude, what? Yeah, none of this is working. Oh, man. Okay. I would think that this would have worked. We have to figure out why this isn't working. Our idle might be wrong, but then again, that's why we took out. We did that insertion regardless of what the tile ID was, to prevent, just to catch it in case maybe we got that wrong, but that's not the issue. So we're gonna have to figure out why that is not working. Well, we've got the idle in there. We've got the meditate state. It's working. It's working for both the save and the load. So that's good. We need to fix our little death. Let's try to fix our little death bug that we had, and then we'll call it a night. We'll see if we can get in our bat walk state. When we go to update our spitballs, or actually our spitball has its own class. We need to not do, if we need to make sure the player is not chasm falling. And if it's not chasm falling, then the spitball, I think, will still update and tween to its value, but it won't damage and kill him, which would throw off our bug here. So let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get spitballed into the chasm, or get spitballed as we're dying. Shit. We're trying to get spitballed as... Oh, that's so cool that he starts meditating like that, even from the start screen. That's cool. We're going to try to get spitballed while we're falling in the chasm and see if we can get... Or get deathed into the chasm. Oh my Jesus. Wow, look at that. We got red on us. Yeah, we need to reset damage flashing, apparently. Oh no! Okay, that's not it either. I really like that he starts meditating. It's really cool. Well, the good news is we haven't recreated the bug in trying it for 3 times, so that's reassuring. Here we go. Shit, man. We just chasm fall right away. So, if the spitball hits us, why does adding the not chasm fall here break the dying animation that was working? We'll have to see how that's getting triggered too. Oh shit. Okay, let's see how that one's getting triggered. Spitball collision, maybe? Hit right. Hit left. This is weird. Okay, so we're doing this spitball update. Yeah, we're getting hurt if the spitball... Well, what do we do here? Lifespan is... So, like, our spitball update, we're tweening its location towards the player. We're going to decrement its lifespan. Why do we do that? Because if the lifespan is smaller than 0... Okay, so we're not even doing collision with the spitball, which I think might be one reason why it's buggy, because we're triggering a hurt based on the lifespan of a spitball, which is a little weird. But then where do we go to trigger the falling animation that we've got? What do we even call it? Is it in entity definitions here? Player death? Oh, just player death, and it's just death. Death. Okay. So if our health... Okay. So we basically change... We either go to a player death... Okay, this is weird. Okay, so if we have 0 health and we're not already dead, we become dead. We change our state to player death. Player death is a state. Who made this game? Player death is a state, and that's where we change the animation to death and just render the player. So we change the state so that we don't take in collision from enemies anymore, because we're in a different state. It's still an entity though, so I think that might be a little flawed. But we're going to become dead. We're going to change state to player death. Now, if we're dead, we increment our dead timer. Jesus Christ, who programmed this game? Okay, I think there might be a bug here with if we're dead, we should make sure our animation is still death animation. But then where do we go to game over? Because that's wrong. So we go to game over here if our dead timer is bigger than 2. So that's what our dead timer is. It just triggers the game over, which we need to add the options to continue here as well. So what is going wrong in the bug? What's happening is, like, we get hit we have no health, so we're technically dead, but our dead timer hasn't hit 2 yet. Then we were falling in a chasm, and then we had game over, and then we didn't change our state or anything. So maybe right there, maybe right here we say we're gonna change animation to death in case we didn't trigger in the chasm. But also, when are we doing chasm death gets true? I think it's on the last frame if we're colliding with the chasm. We're doing it here. Yeah, if our falling animation has played all the way through, then we become chasm death. Let's see if we can get the bug to appear. I'll start spawning us in the dungeon too. Dungeon is 112. So let's see here. Okay, well that was right. We want to get, okay, let's do 112, was it? I already forgot. Spawn. Yeah, 112. Shit. Okay, let's do this. Let's try to get spitballed into a chasm and see what happens. No, I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I want the other one. Okay. Spitballed in the chasm. That worked. That worked. Because what happened was it changed us into the fall animation, and then we fell into the chasm. And then what I don't like is like it brought us back from the dead just so that it could plop our ass down there and get spat on. So like it probably, since we died and then fell into a chasm, we probably should have triggered the chasm animation instead of this. Instead of the respawn. So maybe when we go to do the respawn, gosh, where do we even do that? What is this? Falling state. Oh, that was just a test. Okay. We should have this thing where we're saying if our death timer is greater than 2, we're gonna respawn us, right? We respawn us at the checkpoint position. But we only want to do this if we're not chasm death. Well, we become chasm death here. Okay, so it's not here, but when we respawn based on our checkpoint positions, on a normal death, we need to check if we're chasm fall. Graveyard timer. Oh, this is jacked up. Okay, so we basically is this graveyard trigger. So this is for a chasm fall. If our falling animation has played, we still come up here and reset. So let's only do this reset if our player's health is greater than 0. So like we won't come back to life visually, but we still, yeah, okay. So if we say that if our health is smaller than or equal to 0, then we don't bring us back to life, but instead of putting us back at our checkpoint positions, we need to change our state to be the it's actually in our global state machine, so it is our just our G state machine. We just want to change this into a chasm fall. Chasm fall state for our state machine, which is in our main defined. It should be a chasm. Where is it? Chasm falling state camel case. Chasm falling state. Chasm falling state. Okay. So now, if we die... Why does it... Oh, we missed a string here. Okay. So now, instead of like last time where it spawned us from the hole back to where we were, I'm hoping this will change us to a chasm falling state because our chasm falling animation played once. So let's see. So we're going to die once, and then we're going to try to get spitballed into a chasm and see what happens here. Perfect. Yeah, he did the falling animation because he was dead. Or he did the spinning and dying animation because he was dead, but then he did the falling animation because he was falling in a damn chasm, and then it changed to the dying in a chasm state because he technically did. Well, he technically died on the ground, but then his dead body fell. Oh! We need to fix that. Oh shit, that was bad. Game over. Okay, so game over needs to be flushed to false. I mean, game over is a bad... We should have something different for that. But we basically need to, in our chasm state, game over... Yeah, let's see what our game over is, because that was bad. We celebrated a bit too early. But here, game over is true. Then if game over, we're going to render the game over junk. But then we don't have an ungame over. We don't have a game over gets false. So is game over a global variable? Really? Game over is just a global variable that we only define right here. I don't like that. But let's just see if this fixes it, where we say if we're in a chasm falling state, we're not game over. So it doesn't need to be in the update. It just needs to be right here. We need to fix that though, because it needs to be its own little, you know, we need to have a button that either continues or quits to the title screen. Okay, let's try this again. We're going to get spit into a chasm. That looks great. Shit, man. We're triggering game over, even though we have health, and we're meditating in a crate right now. So why is that happening? Game over is true if our player dead timer is greater than 2. So our player... But then we were still... Okay. It's weird that our meditation spot was wrong too. So if we do game over is false and also dead timer gets reset. This is getting messy because I want to do, well, let's just say game over gets false. Oh, not in meditate state, but in chasm falling state. We'll say game over gets false, and also, and you know, this isn't going to be where the fix lives. I just want to see if this does fix it. Player.dead timer. No, dead timer. Dead timer in the player, yeah. So dead timer is also going to get 0. Let's see. Chasm state doesn't have it. Okay, let's just say okay, that does seem to have fixed it. Okay, so what's the better way? What's the better way instead of this global game over? This is kind of silly. We could, we could say game over gets false like as soon as we trigger the change to falling chasm state. But what I don't like about that is the logic doesn't quite read, because it's literally game over, but we would be saying game over gets false even though we're going to the game over screen. So that's kind of why I don't like that. And I don't like this because we're doing it 60 times a second in the update. So let's just do it. Let's just do it when we change to player falling state. Nope. Where is it? Man, the naming is gonna kill me. I don't know where it is, man. Player falling state, and we change it from probably from the play state, and we do a change into the. Where do we even do it, man? We can probably see it here. We have a player death. Wow, we don't have the chasm falling. Okay, so we're looking for when we change to the global state machine state of player chasm state. So it's called falling chasm state, right? Chasm falling state. That's why. Chasm falling. So when we go to change it here, chasm falling state right here. Yeah, so we have two times we do this. One right here, which we would need to become dead timer reset here. And then we also have one, where is it? Right here as well. Okay. So this is in the player class. If we trigger a chasm death, we're going to reset that game over in dead timer. And then we also have it in the map graveyard trigger for a chasm fall. Okay. I don't know. I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing here. This should fix it though. I mean, let's just see. If we die in here, we trigger that. We continue. Oh no. Shit. That didn't work. We're still game over. So we did. Maybe we have to do it before we changed the state. Yeah, maybe we have to do it before we change the state. Okay, we did it there. So let's see. Actually, that was just where we were. Chasm falling state. Let's see. Yes, let's do it before this one as well. Okay, let's see. Let's try to get spit into it. No. Still busted. I'm like extra confused why it loads us over there. Like why the save loads us not over there. It's like what the... It's like we're carried over some DX for some reason. Okay, well that's not working. That's not working. So... Do we do it? Well... Game over only gets triggered based on our dead timer. So when do we increment dead timer? We increment it if we're dead. Son of a bitch. Okay, well... Okay, so I guess, do we just say we're not dead if we're actually... Okay, that's weird. I'm gonna say we go to where we do the chasm falling. We're gonna try to just do one thing, and when we change to the state, we're gonna say we're no longer dead because we're in a new state because we're going to the chasm fall state, and that'll stop our dead timer from increasing, and we should probably reset dead timer while we're at it too. We shouldn't need to flush our game over because it won't be triggered, but let's find our other chasm falling state, which is in our map, and we'll say chasm falling state, and we'll do it here too. We're gonna say that our global player is no longer dead, even though we are very dead, and our timer is also reset. Let's see if that fixes it. Okay, so we're gonna get shot into a chasm and see when we reload if we're... Oh shit. Well, at least the game over... Oh gosh, yeah, we have to stop the inventory switch from a game over also. That's not hard, but let's do this again. We gotta juke him out because we want to die by falling into a chasm from a spitball. Okay, here we go. Nice. Oh, it played the sound twice there, but it worked. So we go back to our last save, which is good. Yeah, we need to make sure we don't play that sound more than once. Let's try it again. Oh, shit. That was wrong, right? Because we didn't even play the chasm falling, but we were technically colliding with it, and we had already... Oh, I think we need to reset... Oh, we need to reset... Oh, shit. Well, that one was right. We need to reset our times played back to 0 once we respawn. Because otherwise, if we... See, like, we're going to fall once, and then we're going to die outside of a chasm, and I bet it'll trigger the chasm fall animation. No. Okay. So, we might be good. That was a weird one where we had, like, a quick death. Oh, God. That's looking right, though. I mean, if... I don't like that game over is a global. I really don't like that. We need to fix that. See that? There it did it again. We died and we were colliding with a chasm, but we weren't. Okay, I don't know why it's triggering the chasm fall so soon. Yeah, it shouldn't be triggering the chasm fall that soon. It should have just done the little knockback for us. See, why did it trigger the chasm fall there? It should not have done that. Right here, if our health is smaller than 0 and our animation falling has played more than once. So it might be there, but we didn't even fall once there. So it's probably not there. It's probably the other one, chasm falling state. Right here. If our, well, no, that's where. Okay, chasm falling state. Okay, we only have 2 times we change to it. Right here, where we're at, and also upon a chasm death. So what constitute chasm death? Chasm death becomes true only if our falling animation has been played more than once. So if we were to print up this value, does that mean that this starts at 1? Let's see. We're gonna do a print here and print to a string the value of how many times our falling animation on our player has played. And it is 0. So why is it that we trigger a chasm fall when we get shot twice here? It didn't that time. It didn't that time. But we've seen that mistake twice. Because look, if we fall here, it does reset back to 0. Why? Dude, why is it not messing up when we look at it? It's like shy to mess up again because we've got debug values on screen. Shit. Okay, see, that was right. Okay, come on, bug. Let's do it. Holy crap. See, why did we trigger a chasm fall state when we got murdered on the ground? I don't know why, because the only time we become changing to a chasm fall state is when we have a chasm death. And the only time we have a chasm death is when we have played our falling animation more than once. That's the only time we change this chasm death to true. That's literally the only time we do it. And we're printing up that value and it wasn't falling. So like we changed to falling. That's gotta be a mistake. Like we have to accidentally be changing to falling or something, right? Because how can this maybe... Because times played is just a field in an animation, and it increments every time we hit the last frame of an animation. So for like it can only hit that last animation if it's updating, and that it only updates if the current animation is changed to falling. But we only change the animation to falling if we trigger this fall timer, and we only trigger a fall timer if we collide with a chasm or a pit. So I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know how to even hunt that down, because we're printing it up on screen and it looked fine. Like when we got like double teamed by him, it triggered it, and I don't know if that was. Let's try to do it again. Let's see. See, that was fine. Let's try to get shot at the same exact time. See, it's fine sometimes. It's weird because, yeah, we're only changing to that state if our animation for falling has been played all the way through. And we're only playing it if we actually trigger a fall in the chasm, so I don't get why it was messing up there. And then, of course, it's not consistent either. We can't just recreate it easily. It works most of the time, but I think it messes up when we get close to a chasm and we get shot in quick succession. That's the only time I've seen it trigger. Well, I've seen it even not close to a chasm, I've seen it trigger. Okay, well that was right. Okay, I don't know, we'll have to keep an eye on that. It's tough because we can't recreate it easily. Shit. Okay. Oh my. Right as we're gonna commit, we just got that. That was like a crazy knockback we had. So I guess we need to reset our DX position when we change to a falling chasm too. We need to become not hit and not... Gosh, that was crazy. That was a rare one because we died. We died while we had a DX and DY from a spitball, but we had not decremented it to 0 yet because we triggered a chasm fall before that would happen. So I think we still do need to flush our DX and DY if we're dead. So let's find the dot dead, and if we're dead, are we not doing anything if we are dead? Let's do it here where if we're dead, we're gonna take out our DX here and our DY. Well, no, we should probably do this because it's nice. Like, we have this knockback, right, where we kind of get skid to a stop, and if we get hit, the animation having that DX and DY is pretty good. So we won't flush it here, but we'll flush it. We do want to make sure that we flush it if our dead timer is greater than 2. But we also need to flush it in our player chasm fall state in case we get that weird triggering. We don't even take our player here. Okay. It's gonna be tough to recreate that one because we kind of got knocked into a chasm after we were dead. Shit, that was very close though. Yo, is anyone else's weekend just over way too fast? My weekend was like 3 seconds long. Okay. It's tough to recreate this. But basically, if we're in a chasm fall state, we need to reset all our player junk to normal. See, there it did it again. Well, that's jacked up. Okay, I think we're just gonna call it a night. Let me turn off. We'll turn off the play state debug. You know, we still have a couple of strange bugs. We need to, let's leave us a little note here. So we need to prevent inventory load if we're dead or game over. And then we need to it's a bug that we need to flush DX, DY, flashing, hit, reset all player variables upon game over, so that we don't carry anything into the load, because we kind of carried over the DX when we spawned back and we were flashing, which should never happen. So we need to at least do that, and then I think if we do this third thing, which is this invulnerable state for Tashio when he's hurt, that could help some other bugs too, because we kind of we triggered a death sound after we were already dead and got hurt, so we should prevent that, and then we'll kind of reassess at that point once we kind of get these little bugs fixed. But we've got loading, you know. Oh, and we have to get the the automate the idle dialog box insertions. Because the code, we wrote the code for it, but it wasn't working, so we need to figure that out. So we'll try to figure that out too. We added a Tashio meditate picture and a meditate state for our player. And then we will check out our get diff here. Uh-oh, what just happened there? We did a bunch of stuff. We changed to a chasm falling state if we're dead. And we don't respawn our player if we are if we're falling in a chasm actively and we have no health. So we stop respawning our player there, and then we added P to our advance. So now you can advance with enter or P for the continue and quit. We added a player meditate state that he does this little sit animation. Not an animation, it's just a single sprite. We try to flush our DX and DY if our dead timer is greater than 2 or if we're in a game over. But yeah, that's what we did today. We'll try to figure out the rest of those bugs soon, but it is coming together, so that is looking good. So we can say we added meditation state for Tashio and trigger it for load games. Sweet. All right, we'll push our changes for the night, and we'll run our credits, and we'll find someone to raid here. So let's see. I'm wondering if who did we raid yesterday that was really cool? Don't remember his name. Hypnotic is playing Balatro. Let's see. I'm trying this special Twitch studio, what is it called? Dashboard Stream Manager raid. I've never done that before, so we'll raid out to Hypnotic here and call it a night. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll get some more game development done. How do you... Okay, yeah, we can raid here. Okay, sweet. Well, peace out. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow.
Damn it. I'm not getting far with this. Just discard.